We've got 2 or 3 different ideas on how to make the Save America measures fit into the budget reconciliation process. As the name implies, it's got to be reconciling the budget. It's got to be tied to fiscal issues. And one of the ways to do it is to create a grant program to incentivize states to enact election integrity measures. There are other ways as well. We're discussing all those. That is going to be a big component of what we send to the Senate.
So you have Speaker Johnson there talking about how to connect the Save America Act to a reconciliation bill so that it could get a majority in the House and a simple majority in the Senate so it could make it to President Trump's desk. As everyone is celebrating America's 250th this weekend, Independence Day is upon us once again, but this is an extra special one. People are wondering if the Congress, as it is assembled right now, will be able to save America's elections and the integrity of them through the Save America Act. Let's get to our friend Congressman Mike Bost is with us right now. He is the 12th District Representative. It's good to have you back on the show. Happy Independence Day.
It's good to be on with you. Happy Independence Day. Well, I'm here in D.C. and 105-degree weather and here with 3 million of my closest friends, and it's fantastic.
Talk to me about just give us the lay of the land there. As somebody who's from the Midwest, of course, you understand what heat and humidity is here. Apparently, it's very similar there right now.
It is. Trust me, if you're from around the St. Louis area, whatever weather we have at home, usually about 18 hours later, they have it right here in D.C.
Yeah.
And so I'm really used to it. And remember, we get the humidity because of our large river system, and they get the humidity because they built it on a swamp. So
that's a smart move. So, Congressman, talk to me about the celebrations that are going on in D.C. I understand there's an Illinois area at the State Fair. What do you got?
There is, not by our governor, but by the fact that we saw that was not going to happen from our governor. So Peoria Museum took the initiative through the help of myself, Mary Miller, and Darren LaHood. They brought, which is a whole big exhibit about Illinois that was able to come. It's really too bad that they want to play politics with something that this is our, look, this is the 250th anniversary of this nation. Republican, Democrat, Independent, all of it. It could have been done very, very positively. There were 4 or 5 states that kind of tried to opt out. Their own members in their states have actually filled those. Remember, there are 50 state booths out there, stations, and 6 territorial stations. So 56 stations out along the mall. Just some really neat things. We in Illinois, I'll be down there tomorrow for about an hour and a half, helping work the booth. Mary was there yesterday. I think Darren's been there. So it'll go through the 10th. Big Ferris wheel down there. There's all kinds of shows and everything like that. Tomorrow's a big show that normally finishes with the fireworks. That will not happen tomorrow. They will saving the big fireworks show to be done by itself, actually on Saturday night, actually on the 4th, further down the mall. So a lot of really fun things that are going on. Matter of fact, the group, we stayed out here to do, because we've got a reception that we're doing tomorrow afternoon for those people from our constituents coming over to the VA area in the Cannon building, where we're going to have that reception mid-afternoon while people go out to other things. But events all weekend and on into next week. That, as I said, the fair goes until the 10th. So celebrations that just continue, and it's wonderful.
So you're telling me, Congressman Bost, that if it were up to J.B. Pritzker, Illinois would not be represented at the state fair this weekend? That is correct.
And so we made a decision to do it on our own. And just so you know, no Democrat has showed up to help the booth or stand in support of what we're doing and everything like that.
Do you have like shrines to Donald Trump in that thing? Like what in the Illinois booth at the state fair is Republican?
Not a thing. It's
just the people working, I guess.
No, that's not true. That's not true. There's some things about Abraham Lincoln. So I guess it is.
Point. Can somebody put that on the scoreboard for me, please? We don't even have a scoreboard, but let's get one.
Just so you know, there also might be Ulysses S. Grant.
There you go.
So best, yeah, yep.
It's just so disappointing.
You know it is disappointing because look, it is a celebration for all of us. Come and enjoy it, or look, as I said. If you want to watch it on TV, watch it on TV because then you're in air conditioning. But, but I'll give you an example of something that happened earlier today. I was actually doing on the balcony a Zoom call for a radio or for a podcast. Just before I got on the Zoom call, and I only wish it would have been on the Zoom call whenever it happened, because the Capitol is in the background there when I'm standing on the balcony of the VA. Both the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels were performing right down the mall, swinging out close to the Washington Monument, right up over the Capitol. It was amazing.
Incredible.
It was amazing.
Absolutely incredible. I want to ask you, as the chairman of the House Veterans Affairs Committee, I would be remiss if I didn't give you the opportunity in America's 250th birthday to talk about our veterans.
Okay. Look, but that's what's so wild is you've got to understand that our veterans have served us, and if it was not for their service, this freedom, that whole statement about the freedom isn't free. So we want to make sure that during this 250th anniversary that we do honor our veterans. We have a bill that's pending out there that is it is an unbelievably large bill. It actually combines about 62 bills that have been put in, the largest of which is the Richard Starr Act, which basically right now, if a person is a retired military person, they got their pension and all of a sudden they get declared a certain percent disabled based on their service, and they're going to get benefits from the VA. The Department of War reduces their benefit for their retirement instead of just putting it on top of. Kind of a bad thing that we've done for years. Part of that bill is to try to straighten that out, as well as the Access Act, which is more able to have community care, not having to be forced to go to the VA. Then the Shirley Briley and Eric Edmondson Act. Both of these are one is for women actually for spouses of those who have died in battle, and their pension or their benefit increase, which hasn't been increased in 30 years except for a COLA. Mm-hmm. And same thing for our most disabled veterans like quadro and paraplegic that have to be cared for 24 hours a day by their parents. They also might have severe brain injuries. These are our most needy. They also, except for the COLA, have not had an increase in over 30 years. With this bill, they get an increase. Unfortunately, there's some arguments going on between our veteran service organizations over this. The two of them, of the big ones, are they don't want to have any pay for, but the reality is the pay for is not on any. No one loses any benefits, okay? But going future, there's some things that are going to be recalculated in a different way, and also allow others that are Guard and Reserve that could not have access to the veterans home loans before. Now they will, which will then increase the amount of revenue that's actually coming in, so we can do an offset, because you've got to be able to pay for these things according to pay-go rules under the rules of Congress. And so, unfortunately, as a VA chairman, you have to find those pay-fors, and that's what we've been doing. And so there's always the arguments back and forth on that. But we're hoping to get that done about 3 or 4 weeks after we get back.
The Take Care of America's Veterans Act is definitely worth a good read by our listeners here so they can understand the care that you are leading as the chair of the House Committee on Veterans Affairs. Before we let you go, Congressman Bost, I just want to get your thoughts on the Save America Act, the necessity of it in the wake of the Supreme Court rulings. I'll say this. My reaction to the Supreme Court is I don't like some of the rulings that they have, but it's about time that the legislature step up and do their job and write laws that reflect the will of the American people, that are in conjunction with the Constitution. You've got a big task ahead of you as one of the representatives in the House, the Senate, of course, a big challenge there. Can the Save America Act get passed?
Look, we're looking for every way possible. Remember, we as a House Republicans have passed it 3 times already. We're more than willing to put it in whatever it is that needs to be sent over to the Senate to fit into their rules so that it can get passed. If that is done through the reconciliation, which is what we're looking on now, which is a challenge because you've got to make sure it is actually budgetary in nature to be able to qualify for what we're trying to send over in a separate reconciliation bill, because the reconciliation bill only requires 51 votes instead of the 60 vote before it gets to 51 votes. So as we're moving forward, and Democrats are real clear, they don't want the Save America Act because why? maybe they cheat in elections. I don't know. That's the only reason I can see why anyone would not support the Save, and I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, the Save America Act. What is wrong with showing an ID, knowing that you are a United States citizen, making sure you're a United States citizen when you vote, and making sure you vote once?
Well, the answer to that question, you say, what's wrong with it? A majority, a significant, wildly significant majority of both Republicans and Democrats agree with you. It isn't a partisan
That's
issue.
correct.
The only people who really seem to have a problem with it are those Democrats who are elected and serving and representing people.
That's correct.
And they're on the 20 of the 80-20 issue, and it makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense. But, hey, I'm happy where I'm at. We're trying to do everything we can. We're going to continue to do it because, look, as Ronald Reagan said, remember, we are just one generation away from losing this beautiful country.
Yeah, amen to that. Well, happy Independence Day to you. Thank you for your service
And
to
to
this
you.
country. Thank you. We are
Well, thank
grateful
you.
for you, and
Enjoy the 4th.
we will enjoy it in a big, big way. We hope you will as well. Congressman,
So
thanks.
will we.
Thanks for the
All
time.
right. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Congressman Mike Bost, Illinois' 12th District Representative, one of 3 Republicans out of the state of Illinois representing Illinois in the House of Representatives, and the people who made it so that Illinois could be represented at the state fair, because J.B. Pritzker and the Illinois Democrats, the ones who have a supermajority in the General Assembly, and Governor J.B. Pritzker, who only goes out and talks about Donald Trump all the time, even though he's got a stranglehold on state politics. If you're a Democrat in Illinois, I bet you hate taxes. I bet you don't look at your property tax bill and be like, I feel so good about my state. I feel very patriotic right now. The local municipalities that help set those rates, it's just incredibly out of control. When you are in the state of Illinois and you're paying 40 cents a gallon more for your gas than if you were just on the other side of the border, be it in Missouri or in Indiana, wherever it might be, you're not feeling super patriotic about that. This is the party that has a supermajority, doesn't even need to talk to, or include Republicans in decisions that are made for you as a resident of the state of Illinois. They did not even choose to be represented at the state fair. They don't have to. And in the state of Illinois, the Democrats have such a strong amount of power and authority that they don't even care. It doesn't even bother them that they wouldn't be representative of the state as a whole. They're delusional, but they've been allowed to be in this capacity because Republicans have not been able to cut through in the state and to win those statewide elections or those district elections that go to the state Senate or the state House. Got to do something better there. Thank you to Congressman Bost and Miller and LaHood for making sure that Illinois was a part of the National State Fair taking place this weekend.